Meghan Markle is a fraud. She said it herself several years ago, and I'm going to provide another example that we can add to the evidence pile we have of this. Just a few short weeks ago, Meghan attended Fortune's Most Powerful Women Summit of 2025. And during her speech, she actually said something that I remembered was something that someone else said when they were with Meghan at another interview. This interview was during a session titled Minding the Gap at the New York Times Dealbook Summit in 2021. The topic focused on women's economic and professional equity, and Meghan heard Mellody share her wisdom. During my research, I found that Mellody Hobson is a successful investor and businesswoman. She's co-CEO and president of Ariel Investments, a major Chicago-based firm. She has held high-profile board roles. Formerly, she was the chair of Starbucks Corporation and previously served on boards for companies like DreamWorks Animation and the Estee Lauder companies. By sharing a stage with Mellody Hobson, a woman who spent her life building status, shaping image, and owning boardrooms, Meghan is not just entering a conversation, she's positioning herself in one of the most high-status narratives. This is less about activism and more about identity engineering. And we absolutely see this because Meghan plagiarized Mellody. So let me play you a clip that shows you that exactly. I'd like to apologize now because in order for me to show these videos and offer commentary, I'm going to be glancing down and wearing my glasses. So my sincere apologies that I'm not making eye contact, but let's get into it.
This is one of these issues that is this idea of financial literacy, and our unwillingness to speak about money is causing us to actually widen the gaps that exist in our society. But even the closest of friends won't sit together and speak about money issues.
Financial literacy, for that reason, is something that I spend a lot of time on, specifically for young girls and their empowerment. There's nothing taboo. Doesn't need to be anything taboo about talking about our financial independence. I don't think it's a conversation we should shy away from. I think it's one that we should really embrace together.
What I want to do in this video is show you the entire clip of Mellody talking, and I'm going to prove to you that Meghan actually lost the plot and completely misunderstood what Mellody was trying to say. So let's start that clip. I'm going to pause here and there to make sure that I don't get any copyright issues, and I'll offer commentary as we're going through it. So let's begin.
Mellody, I want to talk to you about something that you wrote earlier this year. And you said, why is it so hard for people to talk about money? And you talked about how when you were a child, you said, as a child, I was desperate to understand money, not to make it, but to master it.
Let's pause here really quick. And I think this is so important. I mean, I'm learning about money myself. It's such an important topic for people to understand because it really is how we survive in this world, right? It's figuring out not just how much money you make, but how much money you spend. Let's continue.
Yes, I absolutely wrote that because I felt that this is one of these issues that is this idea of financial literacy, and our unwillingness to speak about money is causing us to actually widen the gaps that exist in our society.
Let's pause here really quick because what I understand Mellody is saying is that by us not communicating how we're being both successful and also unsuccessful in our money management, we're actually widening gaps. It's not just about earning money. It's not just about the positive side of financial freedom. It's also about learning from other people's mistakes by talking about them. That's my understanding, and this is where I believe Meghan lost the plot. Let's continue.
It fascinates me that you can overhear people in an elevator talking about what vaccine they got, but even the closest of friends won't sit together and speak about money issues.
So you heard Meghan there make a sound in agreement. In my opinion, she was agreeing with what Mellody is saying, but it's also like, let Mellody speak. To be honest, this part of the interview was several minutes into the interview, and Meghan was speaking the whole time. So it's like finally Mellody gets a chance to speak. And what was that, like 20 seconds? And Meghan was already trying to interject. Let's continue.
And I think that at the end of the day has dramatic repercussions for our society, particularly women and minorities in our society.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good point. I mean,
How condescending. Oh, that's a really good point. It's not just a point that Mellody is making. I believe she's sharing wisdom. Meghan is trying to position herself as someone who understands finances, but if you look at how she spends money, how foolish it is, the way she spends money, the clothing that she buys, the lifestyle that she lives, I'm not sure that that is someone that's making wise decisions with money. Let's continue and hear what Meghan says and why this shows that she lost the plot.
That they did a study that said 61% of women would rather talk about the details of their own death than talk about money.
I looked all over and I could not find this statistic. I don't know where Meghan got this from. If you know, feel free to drop it in the comments, but I could not find this 61% statistic anywhere.
And you look at that and go, how have we culturally allowed that to be the case? There's nothing wrong with talking about a woman's success or her ambition or her financial prowess.
And this is where Meghan lost the plot. Everything she's talking about is about earning money and not losing money. She's talking about financial prowess. She's talking about success. She's talking about ambition. But there's no mention of the negative side of money. And that is just as important as discussing how to earn income, but also how you're spending money. Let's continue.
And we all know that if you're able to be financially independent, it changes how you move in the world. It changes your entire way of being.
And there it is, everyone. Meghan lost the plot. What Mellody said, I believe, went completely over Meghan's head. Melody's talking about making wise financial decisions, earning money, spending money. Meghan is only talking about being ambitious, and almost she's describing showing off to friends. Oh, I achieved this and I was successful as that. That doesn't add a whole lot of value to the conversation. What we need to talk about, what needs to be discussed, is not just how you have been successful, but about what have you done that's caused failures or roadblocks or obstacles. Let me know in the comments if you are also getting this impression. I just feel Meghan's ego is just so grandiose. She centers everything around herself. What Mellody is talking about is absolutely not what Meghan tries to add to the conversation at the end. So I want to thank you all so much for listening. I want to hear all about what you think. Please drop it in the comments. And if this video was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know every time I drop a new video. I want to thank you so much for watching. And I'd like to ask you that in lieu of super chats and super stickers, if you would please consider donating to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Their information is on the screen should you need to reach out to them, and you can find a link to donate in the description of this video. I want to thank you again so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.